What up, what up? Mike the Mouth here. This is a shout out to my man Jarhead. Listen, to everybody out there, Jarhead Poker is the real deal. All other poker vlogs suck. So go check out Jarhead Poker's poker vlogs.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Poker Vlog number 2. This one is going to be from a couple different sessions. One of them is a 5-5, 2 rounds of Hold'em, 1 round of Omaha game that we call the H2O game, which is actually like my favorite game that we play. And the other one is just regular 1-3 no limit Hold'em. And as I was going through these voiceovers, I actually didn't even realize that it was 2 different sessions, which I'm just dumb for because I'm wearing like completely different clothes and a different hat and everything. But I didn't realize it in the moment, but you'll be able to tell. But I don't think there's any, or there's not very many Omaha hands in there anyways, except for the first one, which is pretty juicy. So you're gonna want to check out this first one, kind of a cooler hand. But both these sessions take place at Just Jack's in Killeen, Texas. I'm actually repping them right now. Boss Man, the owner, gave me the sweatshirt for free. This place is, I mean, just my favorite room in Central Texas. If any of you guys haven't been there, you definitely got to check it out. Just super, super nice room. Really good staff, really good action, crazy good promos. I honestly don't even know how they make money with all the promos because it seems like they just basically give it all back anyways, which is super cool with them. Whether it's high hands or quads, or sometimes they just have random like spin the wheel promos or hot seat promos. Just really, really awesome room. Top notch. The stream room, super nice, super comfortable. Food is good, and I think they just got the kitchen opened up as well. So can't say enough good things about this room. But anyways, let's get into the vlog. I hope you guys like it. All right, so the first hand that we play is actually going to be in a round of Omaha. So we're going 1 round of Omaha and 2 rounds of Hold'em, and get a raise in front of me and then a call. And I already know this one's going to go multi-way. I have pocket kings, but not suited. Kind of tempting for me to want to raise this one, just being so used to Hold'em. But in reality, this is not really that great of a PLO hand. So basically just set mining, or can always hit a straight with the king queen, or maybe a queen high flush. But we get the best possible flop we could ask for, king jack jack rainbows. So kings full of jacks, and we are 5 ways. So somebody, I figure, is for sure going to have a jack, straight draw, or something. So I checked this one over, planning to maybe check raise, maybe check call, depending on what develops, but it ends up checking through. So the turn, I lead out pretty small, 1/3 pot for $60, knowing that I'm going to get called by a jack. Jack maybe even will raise. Full houses are going to raise, and then probably just going to bet 3-bet here and get it all in. And that's what happens. Johnny Mott raises to 360, and with 1.1k behind, I just decide to stuff it here from out of position. In position, I may just call, see what happens on the river, but I figure he's probably not folding a jack, definitely not folding his exact hand of king jack, maybe not even folding queen 10, although he probably should. So we get it in with the check mark already. Pretty good feeling. And we normally would run it twice if he has king jack. You know, he can always hit the case jack for the river. But Kid, over in seat 2, actually folded ace jack, so pretty good fold by him after it goes bet raise on the turn. But we flop the nuts and hold, so that's a good feeling. Starting off by winning this 2.5k pot.
She's seen that TikTok you was talking about.
It was nuts. Absolutely nuts.
I actually don't even play in this hand, but this is the first hand of the night, and I just wanted to include this one to show you how good of a game it's going to be with all this action. Everybody's just going to go all in. Some are blind, some aren't. Normally, I would do this too, and a lot of times we do this in this $300 cap match the stack game. Everybody kind of just goes all in on the first hand, and that way somebody has over 2k to start the stream, and we can get bigger and get the game juicy and match the stack right away. But what happened in this one was Bossman went all in blind, and then 2 people next to act looked at their cards and then went all in, and then it was on me. with 9-10 offsuit. And it's only $300, so I don't really care that much, but I just don't want to give that action when two people in early position have seen their cards, then decided to go all in. So not a big deal. Normally we just do it blind, but when two people look and then decide to go all in, I'm obviously not doing great against those ranges, and so I just decided I didn't want to give that action. But it does end up being a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-way all in for a $2,100 pot to start the night.
This is something you see at the very, very end of the night.
And I actually would have ended up with a straight that would have been no good against Mrs. All the Smokes nut straight. So good start for her, plus 1.8K to start the stream, and now she's got over 2,000 in front of her. So we were in for 300 to start, but I add on right away to get a bigger stack and make this game juicy.
Reload Cadillac.
Oh, Lord.
Master stack. Man.
Boss Man was definitely prepared for this. As you see, he brings out his real stack.
I'm sure all the players was prepared for this Cadillac. I was prepared for it because I
was wondering, because I thought they should have just brought their stacks from the floor anyway.
I mean, I've been walking in and out the building all night, Cadillac, and I've been witnessing the vibe. Yeah, man, it's just excitement in the air, man. Okay.
All right, back to real poker. There is an early position all in for 615, and then there's a call for slightly less, and I look down at Ace King in the big blind, so I call without even asking how much it is. I know I have both of them covered. So I call, count it out, and we are 3 ways all in. Not in a great spot, but not in a bad spot. We're up against pocket sixes and ace queen, so have the dominating ace, although one of my outs is dead. But we've got 39% to win this 1.7K pot. Just gonna need some help to pair up. But good news, we're seeing all 5. You get bad news on the flop. 5, 9, 8 with 2 spades. I don't have a spade, but ace immediately on the turn, and they are drawing thin. And we end up holding. So feels good. Gonna drag in this 1.7K pot, and we're off to a good start.
I did yesterday.
Kind of unfortunate for Jay Mooney there to have ace queen. Obviously, he's calling it off with a short stack, and then I just wake up in the big blind with a dominating ace. So kind of unfortunate for him. But it's poker. I'll take it. All right, this next hand is a splash pot. So the way we play the nit game is instead of just paying out $25 to everybody for the loser, we do a splash pot of $225. So there is $225 in the middle here to start the hand. There's a few straddles on, and I look down in the small blind at black pocket tens. So I bump it up here to $425. Pretty big raise. I would be fine with just taking down this dead money in the pot with all these straddles and the 225 dead already. But I also want to fold out overcard equity. I don't really want to go to a flop multi-way and see an overcard or 2 or 3 overcards and then basically just have to check fold. But it folds around to dirty money in the $90 straddle, and he just makes the call for $425. So going to this flop with $950 in the middle, and I actually think it's a little bit more. The graphics were on. I think it's closer to 1,000 or 1,100. A flop, we get ace 9-4 with 2 clubs. I decided to check this one. A lot of times I'm going to be betting ace high boards in a bloated pot like this, because really it's closer to a 3 or 4 bet pot with the sizing because of the dead money and straddles, but it actually is only a single raise pot, so I have showdown value. I check it over. Kind of worried that he may have an ace. But on the turn, we see another ace, and now I'm not as worried. I debated between going kind of small here and checking, but decided to check. Don't really love the spot, but I'm still pretty confident I have the best hand. Dirty money here goes 600, which I actually really like this bet from him with his particular hand because he's basically just setting his price to show down. So I decide to make this call for 600 and then see what develops on the river. Now, if the river's a blank and he would have checked through, then I would have been pretty positive that I have the best hand and probably would have just 1.5x GM'd for value on the river. But out of position, he bets. I decided to just check this one over for a third time. Probably going to call a bet if he does bet. But river goes check, check. I'm pretty sure I have the best hand. I show and I am good. So we take down this 2.2k pot and we are running hot so far.
I think if Dirty Money could have controlled his facial expressions a little bit more there, I think Jarhead definitely picked up on something there.
All right, this next hand, Knit Game is back on, and we have the sextuple straddle. 1, 3, 6, 12, 24, 48, 96, 184 dollar straddle, I think is what it was, or 192. Good at math. Folds around to me in the small blind, and the graphics on the stream were actually wrong. I have ace-9 offsuit. It's showing I have king-5, but I bump it up to $500, trying to get rid of my knit button. Also, when it folds around, I have an ace, so I'm blocking some hands that can call. I'm probably going to fold out some pairs and dominating hands behind me in all of these straddles. And if it folds back to Dirty Money, he's either going to fold or go all in, and planning on calling an all in from him because it's not too much behind. And that's what happens. He ships it for $900. I just get a count real quick. Obviously, I'm not folding with over half the stack already in there. So I decide to make this call, and we are in pretty good shape against ace-7. Some chance that we chop this one, but in a pretty good spot for right now.
We were just trying to get an exact count because it was only like that's right.
But what you're seeing is
And on the flop, we see a 9 and no clubs. So great news for me in a very good spot. Turn ace. Now there's some counterfeit outs with a jack, but doesn't come, and we pull in another $2,000 pot. So we are getting it in good and holding, which is a good feeling because the last few months it feels like the only way to win has been getting it in bad. All right, next hand, Boss Man opens it up to 25 in the cutoff. I look down in the big blind at pocket 9s and decide to 3-bet this one up to 100.
Okay. Johnny MOT says, okay, he's going to fold.
Looking to get a heads up,
Boss Man said, hey,
and that's what happens.
I'm in the cutoff.
We got the straddles fold, the limpers fold, and Boss Man makes the call for 100. So going to this flop with $200 in it. The flop, we get a king 6-5 2 clubs flop. A lot of times in 3-bet pots, I'm just going to be betting range here for a quarter to a third. Going to be protecting that with some value. Obviously, a lot of bluffs, but I decided to check this one over. Kind of just want to pot control with good showdown value, and worried he may have a king, but it goes check check. Turn queen. Don't really love this card. Another over to my pair of 9s, so decided to check this one again, and he bets a little over half pot, 125. At this point I'm a little worried because he could have checked back a king, could be value betting a queen that I'm losing to. So I make the call and decide to see what happens on the river, kind of hoping this goes just check check. River is a jack of clubs, so front door flush gets there, another overcard to my 9. Any Broadway combo that was bluffing like ace-10 is a straight now. Any of these pairs beat me, and Boss Man bets about half pot again for $240. And immediately I just said in the moment, I don't even know what I beat. Turns out I beat 8-6 offsuit, but don't know that in the moment, and he gets me to fold the best hand. So credit to JR. I like the line that he took.
Shout out to
Realize
y'all,
after
man.
I go
See,
check, I
got
probably
the
have some
86
sort of
Cadillac.
showdown value hand that he's not being, so decides to go delayed double barrel
You
and
got that one
gets
on
me to
the
fold.
vlogs right there,
Nice
man.
hand, boss man.
Comes through. What that 86 do? Let's go, boss man.
Chief got some suited connect.
All right, this next hand, we look down at the ladies, pocket queens, and it goes under the gun, open, +1 call, and then middle position 3-bet. And with pocket queens here, it's actually, I think, sometimes supposed to be a fold, and sometimes maybe just a flat. But you can forget about that with the knit game on, and we're playing in Texas. So I decided to just stuff it here. We're going to see all 5. Maybe they're BSing. Maybe I'm way behind. Maybe we're flipping. But with the knit game on, with these Texas cash games, I have queens, 3rd best hand. I'm not folding. I'm not flatting. So we get it all in, get a fold, and dirty money calls with king 9 offsuit. So pretty good spot from me again, 1.9K pot, and I have 73% chance to win. We are running it once. Get a pretty decent flop for me, ace jack 3 with 2 spades. He does have the king of spades, but turn is a 4, so I've got this one almost locked up, and river seals the deal, deuce of clubs. So pulling in this pot again for almost 2K.
Wonderful hand. Oh, the knit game was back on. I mean, literally, he'd have been happy with just getting rid of his knit button here, but gets action from dirty money. Great hand by Jarhead. He's had a wonderful session here. That should put him at the top, all the way at the top if he wasn't already.
Shout out to Semper Fi, man. Nice hand.
So that was it for the on-stream hands, but played a couple good ones post-stream. So this is in a round of Omaha, and I have ace queen 9-7, and we go to a single raise pot with $100 in the middle, and flop of queen jack 3 with 2 diamonds. So top and nut flush draw, checks to me on the button. I decide to bet 3/4 pot for 75, and we turn the nuts, 6 of diamonds. The absolute nuts, blocking top set, which probably would have raised on the flop anyways, but feels even better when we are getting led into for $200. I think this one could be a raise, could be a call. I probably should have raised and balanced that out with just the dry ace of diamonds, but I figured I don't have enough behind to run a credible bluff with just the dry ace of diamonds. So I decided to just call here and see what happens on the river. River, inconsequential, 4 of clubs, still have these stone cold nuts, and he bets again for 200. And this same bet on turning river I just know is weak sauce, so I didn't want to go too big here, but obviously I'm going to raise, so I picked a size of 700, which I think is going to get called by inferior flushes, maybe even a set. But he has the king high flush. So we won, but kind of feel like we lost, because if I would have just raised the turn and jammed the river one, then we could have got it all. So left a little bit of money on the table, but feels good to still pull in a big pot. All right, this next hand we have pocket jacks. There is an early position raise and then 2 callers in the field. I decide to bump this one up to 140 in position, and the original raiser folds and the first caller folds, and then we get a call from the hijack. So go into a 3-bet pot in position with a premium and $280 in the middle. So decent spot for me, and even better when we flop an overpair. Jack 3 deuce with 2 hearts. I have the jack of hearts as well. I'm going to mix between checking and betting with overpairs. Jacks, I'm probably going to mostly bet. Honestly, in Texas, probably just always bet. In tougher lineups, maybe I mix in a check like 10% of the time, but forget about that with jacks here. Knit game is not on, so going to get a little more credit here. So I make it 210 and get a call. So $700 going to a turn, which is the 8 of spades. Should be a blank. Brings in some 2 pairs though, like 9-8 suited, which there are 2 combos of. And if he somehow has pocket 8s that didn't 3-bet and float the flop, I think that makes sense. But I think he would sometimes check raise. So when he leads out for 400, I'm just figuring he probably just has a 9 or maybe just air. So I decided to just call. I don't really want to scare off his bluffs. River's pretty bad. The 6 of hearts, so brings in front door hearts and also the front door straight draw, which was 4-5. That I don't really know if he plays like this, but he hits me with the pump fake, the grab chips and check, and I think this is probably good enough to value bet. I thought about this one for a bit. I wish I would have thought about it for a little bit longer, just thinking, what does he really have with this check call, lead turn, check river line? It's probably just a 9 or something that he's betting for protection. But I kind of chicken out. I decided in game that it was maybe just a little too thin. I was fine with just going to showdown. And he shows a jack, and I'm good. So maybe could have value bet that river. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. After that pocket jack hand, the game was still going, but it was pretty late. I was tired. I had a pretty good profit, so I decided to lock it up, rack up my chips, head to the cage, and cash out. All right, that's it for this one. I actually had to go back and check to see what the totals were for the profits on these ones, because they actually happened a few weeks ago. I'm still kind of trying to square everything away with the editing and the voiceovers and stuff. We're trying to get a good system going so we can crank these vlogs out, because we got a bunch of good ones in the pipeline too. But I went back and checked in the H2O game. I was in for 1145 and out for like 7,800. So profit of like 6,700 in that one. And then in the 1-3 game, I was in for 1,500 and out for like 48 or 4,900. So total profit in these 2 streams. I didn't include all the hands. It was a bunch of kind of smaller ones. I just tried to put the biggest and most exciting ones, whether I lost or won. But so that one was like plus 3K as well. So total for this vlog was profit of like 10K. So super good for the stakes, like thousands of big blinds, whatever that means. Basically nothing in Texas. But stay tuned for the next one. Like I said, we got a bunch of really, really good hands, really good vlogs in the pipeline. But see you guys for now.